Well, hello, and welcome back. I'm Age O'Neill, and I am live coding at work. So the problem that we face right now is that we have a webhook that doesn't look like the authentication is being done quite properly. Now, currently, I think it's only exposed in the development environment, so not too big of a deal, but I want to make sure that this gets implemented correctly before we go into production, and then we get this into production quickly. It will, if it's already there, it needs to be a hotfix. So anyway, I am going to bring up some documentation here as soon as I can find out where the heck it went. Sorry, I had it on the screen a minute ago, and now, well, I still have it on the screen somewhere. Oh, that's not what we want to look at. Hold on there. Whatever. Oh, and by the way, I do have comments / chat is open both on YouTube and on Twitch, and I am watching there. So decide to leave a comment. I will hopefully see it and respond to it. I try to. But what I am looking for, I'll just go ahead and bring over. Here it is. Here it is. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, so a webhook is basically just a way to say bespoke authentication plus payload from a third-party service. So, for example, one of the third-party services we use is PandaDoc, and they have, I wouldn't go as far as to call it a common convention, because even the convention is not common. It's just a kind of a family of patterns, but essentially, usually either in the header or in the URL, there is something that identifies a hash signature. And so you are going to get a post from, and this is good to know too, I wonder if I can reliably, because they're saying that it comes from api.pandadoc.com, so I wonder if I could reliably do a lookup on the IP addresses associated with api.pandadoc.com, and I should be able to see that the IP address that I'm getting a request from is them. That would actually be really, really cool. And then there is, it comes into our domain, whatever our webhook is, and then signature equals sig. So I need to figure out how they determine what a signature is and what to do about it. So it says there's a signature verifying the authenticity of PandaDoc. But this is not really helpful because it doesn't tell us what it's a signature of. Is it a signature of the request body, verbatim, byte for byte? Is it normally what they do is they alphabetize the keys. So you take the keys, alphabetize them, encode them or something, and then concatenate them together, and then take the SHA-256 sum of that as a whole. And so here they are not telling me what they do, and they're not linking to what they do. They just say, oh, there's a signature. Well, great. I will check that there's a signature. Okay, verification, shared key. I know what our shared key is. I know where that's at. Make sure requests are valid and not spoofed. Using your shared key and a signature, you can verify the contents of a webhook, authentic and untampered. Your shared key can be found in the PandaDoc web. Okay, protect your shared key. Blah 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 blah. Sure. Okay, Python verification. So this is good. Request body. Okay, that's a little stinky in a sense because that means that we have to get the raw bytes, which is a little bit more obnoxious. And then, let's see, we'll figure this out in just a second here. We'll take the shared key as a string. Yeah, let's take a look here. Are they even saying anything meaningful? By the way, what's up, brother from another mother? Actually, I don't know that we're quite that close yet. That was maybe came out a little strong there, but nice to see you again. As always, feel free to drop in questions. So I'm just kind of looking at the different examples they have here to see. Whoa. Okay, that's really generic. There we go back here. To see if I can kind of glean, I'm pretty sure they're just saying take the raw bytes and hash them, which I guess is okay. Yeah, get bytes, source, string, source. Okay, all right, all right, all right. Now let's see if anybody else has done this in Node.js before. So let's just search pandadoc Node.js, see what comes up. A lot of their stuff comes up first. They got some job postings that come up. It does not look like anything's popping up on NPM. I'm just going to go to NPM directly real quick, and let's see what we get when we search pandadoc. If nothing, oh gosh. So well, here's good news. This is a great opportunity to just publish a module. Let's see if it does webhooks here. Webhooks. Okay, we got nothing. All right, excellent. So this is a great opportunity, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and go to GitHub, and then I just throw. Nowadays, I just throw extra modules like this under my root company, just for things I don't have another place for. And I'm just going to create a repository. I don't know what I'm going to call this. Let me scroll down here to root. I guess pandadoc. What do they call theirs? Pandadoc API JS? Pandadoc Yarn package. Ooh, published to Yarn. Pandadoc. Seriously. Huh. So I guess I could just take pandadoc. So that also tells me, so I don't think the signature verification is going to be something that belongs in the proprietary space. I think that's something that belongs in public space. But that does tell me that, because I've suggested, this is one of the things that's very complex about our code base, is I've suggested that we factor out things into a module for pandadoc. But I would say that from what I'm seeing, that nothing else is available, and that this is something that potentially gives us an advantage in the marketplace. We may not actually want to, I still think we should segment off the code, but we may not end up publishing it publicly, because I think that would kind of fall into part of our core value, our integration there. But as far as the signature verification, I think that's something that definitely does belong in the public. I'm going to go ahead and nab the name here, and then maybe suggest in the documentation that we're open to other people contributing. Maybe we can put a couple of things in there that are pretty lightweight. I know that we do use some proprietary APIs, or rather non-public APIs, working with them. So I think we could probably throw a bone, put in a couple of the public things in here maybe, and then maybe we get some people contributing, making our lives easier. It's a toss-up on that one. I'm not going to put stock in it, but could happen. Definitely think signature verification should do this. JavaScript API for pandadoc. Node.js JavaScript API for pandadoc. Yeah, sure. README, getignore, license. Getignore is going to be Node. License is going to be Moz. And I thought I'd changed that to be main. I switched everything over to the main. Again, not because of the politics, just because it's where the world is going, and you can't stop the ball once it's rolling down the hill, So if you can't beat them, join them. Okay. So here we are. And so I'm just going to go ahead and clone this. I'm just going to clone it right here, I guess. Now the tough part is we need to get access to the raw body, which is already going to be parsed. So I think what this may mean is I'm going to have to rethink where we're implementing the body parser, because we can't get access to the raw bytes if we're running the body parser on it. So, and actually I want to change this already. This should be pandadoc.js. There we go. That's good. It'll be published in npm as pandadoc. And right now it's just going to be the webhook signature, which is fine. Okay, so, I mean, I don't know what I should call this. Webhook verify, mkdir, webhooks. What do we call this? Let me see what they say in their documentation. Do they call it webhook or webhooks? We call it webhooks. Do they call it webhook? Webhooks. They call it webhooks. Use webhooks. Webhooks. All right. Let's just call it webhook. And webhook, we'll call it verify.js, verify signature.js. So, and this, you know, we'll do this a little bit multi-stage here just to keep it, I don't know, portable between things other than Express, but I'll include one that's called Express. So we're going to have rec and res, and no. This one's just going to be, it's going to be buffer. It's going to be buffer. Ooh. Okay, so this is going to be string content because it's not going to be a buffer. It's going to be a string. So it's going to be UTF-8, and then it's going to be, I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's pretty cut and dry here. The key, HMAC, dang it. HMAC. And do they do it with HMAC too? Okay, so they do it with HMAC. That's fine. Okay, we'll just do it HMAC style. I feel like HMAC is just a little bit... so shared key, and then UTF-8 body to be descriptive. And then is this require crypto.hmac? I got to go check. Node.js HMAC. And hopefully this takes us to the docs, which of course it does not. Why would it take us to the docs? There we go. I don't care about everybody else's thing. I want to go right to the real source. Okay, HMAC. So we want to do what? New HMAC? Crypto, create HMAC. This is so retarded. I can't believe that the official documentation uses deconstruction in this way. So stupid. Makes me angry. A lot of things make me angry. Maybe I should change my channel name to The Angry Coder. Hates everything. No, I love Go. I love the communities and the languages where they really try to stick to the values of simplicity and principles of least surprise. Basically everything that's in the Zen of Python and the Go proverbs. And you know, Rust isn't bad. It's not as good as those two, but it's certainly better than the JavaScript community, for sure. All right, so .create HMAC. So I guess it's just crypto. It's crypto, then crypto.create HMAC. No need to obscure it away. And yeah, it's going to be SHA-256. And then it's going to be shared key. So I guess we could do an initialization function. I'll think about that, actually. So if we had like a .init, we could just pass in the shared key here, and then we could return essentially the function that's going to take the UTF-8 body and the signature. So I guess we also need the signature. And then one nice thing about hashes is you don't actually need to do a secure compare when it comes to hashes. You can do the naive comparison because by virtue of it being hashed, you've already randomized it in such a way that you don't really aid an attacker. I mean, I guess you should do a secure compare because why not? But you don't really aid an attacker if you can expose to them what well, no, they already know what the hash should be because the signature is already there, you know? So, I mean, they can come up with a bogus signature and then they could just try again and again and again and again, and they could detect minute differences and they could tell. No, they wouldn't be able to tell because they don't have the real one. So they would have no idea whether they're getting closer or not. And even if they could, it wouldn't matter because this key space is so infinitely large. How do you spell Getty? Oh man, is this my biggest fan ever? I got somebody prank calling me last night, and I think that he just joined the channel based on his comments. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to worry about this right now. Let's just not even worry about that right now. Let's just focus on the main enchilada here. So this is going to give me my HMAC. And I guess since I'm targeting Node, I guess there's no reason not to use let here. I mean, it doesn't matter either way. This is simple enough. Yeah, this is simple enough. I'll just say whatever. It'll work in old versions of Node. It'll be fine. Okay. And then, all right, this one's looking a little bit strange the way that they're doing this. On readable, read, write, some data sash, pipe stream. Yeah, I don't think we need any of that in particular. I guess we could. I guess we should. So let's say, sure, this is a stream. In which case, what do? We input.pipe.hmac. Does that make sense? And then at the end, we would call .end and then .digest. Is that the way we would do it? I need to add this to my cheat sheet. So, okay, we say stream.pipe. Yeah, I guess I'd kind of want to do this a couple of different ways because I would want to be able to just take the body. But in the case of the way that you'd use this in Node, it would be likely that you would be dealing with a request body. I just took my shoes off, so I'm going to lower the desk by a couple inches. Oh, that might be a little too much. There we go. Yeah, that might still have been a little too much. Half a crank more. There we go. Yeah, and the way that you're going to use this in Node, you're going to be at the point where you should be getting the stream to this. So maybe I'll expose it in a couple of different ways. But that looks right, I guess. And then we'd want, what, on end? They didn't really show this one how you would use it. .input.pipe, create read stream, input. This, I don't think that this actually shows what they intend it to show. HMAC digest. Oh, and that's the other thing we need to see. What digest are we expecting it to be in? Is it hex? I think it was hex. Hex digest. Okay. So yeah, let's take a look at that. HMAC.digest hex. Okay, but the problem I don't like about this is that now we gotta promisify it, I guess. Return new promise result. And I think these bodies are going to be pretty small, so it may not be worth it to pipe them to the stream. But here's the thing. If you don't pipe it to the stream, then you've got to read it into memory anyway, and that's got to be done somehow. So I guess it might as well be. Okay, so we do this. And then, and I guess when all that's done is when we'll want to return the digest. And I think, I can't remember with these, I think it's, you'd resolve on end, and of course you'd error on error. But there's some funny business around on end. I think you need to, this is one of those things that I need to put in a cheat sheet because it's easy to get mixed up on the streams because some of the streams have different rules, and sometimes you need to call end yourself. So I think what has to happen is that on this one, when I get a stream end, then I think that means that that's when I need to call hmac dot, well, I guess I could just call it here hmac.end. But I suppose that's not necessary because if I'm calling .digest, that should just call .end on its own. But so let me back up a little bit. Let's go ahead and put reject there. And I guess we could put hmac.end here. But there's end and there's close and there's destroy. And it just gets confusing sometimes. And this example is actually not a correct example. And we could use the old update and digest, but I think it would be wise to do this the right way. Okay, that is just obnoxious. Goodness. Okay, now we'll just run this. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a built-in test in here. And we're going to do if require dot, whoops, dot main is equal to module. Then we're going to do require fs dot create, I think it's create read stream. And then we're just going to pass in file name. So we're going to have the file check itself. And we are going to call, let's go ahead and give this a better name. Let's call it, say, verify stream. Decent name. Oh, man. Okay, so that should have gotten rid of the semicolon. Yeah, okay. So verify stream. Sign stream, maybe? How about sign stream? We'll do a sign stream and a verify stream. So when we sign the stream, we don't need the signature because we're just going to get the signature back. And we verify, we do both. Okay. And let's see. Is there any way other way I want to call it? So we can call this sign stream, and then we could do a little wrapping here so that this can be an await. And then let sig equal console dot info sig. And then just call it on itself. A little bit of voodoo, but just right for the occasion. As they say on the restaurant forums, you know, how was the service tonight? Perfect for the occasion. Meaning the service was slow, but it was a really busy night, so couldn't expect much better. That's what that translates to. All right, this is now looking kind of goofy. So let's do secret and stream. Let stream equal create the stream. All right, that's looking pretty good. Now, just because it works here doesn't mean that it will always work, but well, that was spectacularly terrible. Let's see. So that resolved. Return new promise. Maybe it never had an end. Let's try close. And it's not just a colors issue. Okay. So let's try to figure out what happened here. Maybe, because I would like to use this correctly, if at all possible. Okay, I'm going to go back to the webs. You know, I like to peruse the official documentation. Emacs stream. Let's see what pops up. And then I got, let me check this. Okay. Nothing I need to respond to. This looks like this person may have the same problem. Create HMAC key update. Yeah, that's not what I want to actually do. Oh gosh, this looks so much more complicated though, right? Okay. End. Read. Okay, well, yeah, I guess we could do that. Let's do it. Maybe I'm doing it wrong. Let's also just check resolved. Because this, okay, where's the stream at? So this stream should come to an end. I wish I could remember. If you know whether it's end or close or complete or some other event that's guaranteed, because they're different semantically. Network connection, I think, can close without ending. Or a file descriptor, something like that. Their close and end are slightly different, and I forget which one is the one that's guaranteed to fire after all the rest. I think it's end. But who knows? Anyway, let's try this out. Let's also try... Just put that there. Check it out. All right, cool. So yeah, this goes in yield cheat sheet for sure. So let me open that up. And then I do need to make sure that I actually have... I kind of want to update the docs, the official Node.js docs, and say, hey, this is crap. That doesn't actually do what you'd think that it does. Oh, I can't PB copy because I'm not on my Mac. I am on the remote server here. All right, anyway, I'm just going to toss this up. Let me go find my little cheat sheet place here. Just 1 second while I pull this up. Where's my node stuff? Node. I'm going to be publishing these cheat sheets on the Beyond Code site as I get them figured out. And actually, let me go check the one I've got, because I've got a partial one on GitHub, Node cheat sheet here, and I think I may have something that uses pipe. Oh, look. File checksum. Finish. Okay, that's the event that we ought to be using, is finish. Let's double check that it really works. Oh, bless me. My burples. So I had a similar one. It was just a generic checksum, not specifically. Oh. Okay, so now that's not guaranteed to fire. Finish is not guaranteed to fire. I guess it is guaranteed on maybe it's guaranteed on a file, but not on a stream in general. So this actually should be to do. Finish doesn't seem to always fire. Maybe end or close. I think it's end. But this is one of those little tiny itsy bitsy things. Let's go to the node stream docs. Let's see if we can discern it there. Finish. So the event finish should fire. Should fire. After stream.end has been called and all data has been flushed to the underlying. Okay. So maybe this is where I'm mistaken about the finish. So maybe stream.on. Let's check this out. Let's say we've got stream.on end, and then we do stream.end. Whoops. I don't know where that came from. Okay, let's see if it works out in that particular case. No, it doesn't. So you cannot call end. All right. Let's return promise resolve. Okay. Definitely does not work. All right, let's try close. Okay, close works and end works. Maybe we just pick, we'll just do the trifecta. Okay. So there we go. We've covered our butt that way. CYA. Gosh, it's starting to feel a little hot. So I wasn't feeling well over the weekend. I'm feeling much better today, but I'm still not quite at 100%. I'm at like 98%. Oh, sorry. I asked the question. I didn't check the comments to see. Network close event from Node.js docs. Emitted when server closes. If connection exists, the emit is not emitted until all connections are ended. Yeah. But that doesn't apply because that's about the server. That's not about the stream. See what I'm saying? So, and that's specifically to a server, not to a request. So, although yes, you found something that is specific, it is not. Well, one, it's too specific because it's only specific to a server. And it doesn't apply to this particular case because we're going to be dealing with a request. And a request, I'm pretty sure a request will end, but a request will not close. A network connection will close. A server listener will close. And I think a file will, well, I mean, in this example I had over in the cheat sheet, the file did finish. I mean, I don't think I'd put it in the cheat sheet if I hadn't tested it. I am usually fairly thorough about these sorts of things. Anyway, this works. I can die a happy man. Should I sign a pipe? I don't know what I do. Anyway, so let's say input rstream. Why am I doing that wrong? There we go. Okay. I don't think close is, I think it's end. I think end is the one to use. Okay. Cool beans, cool beans. So here's the tricky bit. I would never be able to write this in such a way that it could verify itself, because as soon as I include that, well, maybe I could actually. Yeah, I could. I could write it in such a way that it verifies itself. I just store itself in a variable. I'd have to have it sign itself and then, yeah. Anyway, so we can sign stream. Let's go ahead and make verify stream then. So there's sign stream. Verify stream is simply going to be that we include the signature. And then what was the format that this is supposed to be in? Hex sig. Okay, shared key can be just a string. Okay, so this is going to be verify stream. Let's see what's going on over here on the phone. Oh, nothing. Absolutely nothing. All right. So basically here, what we're going to do is await. Yeah, I guess anywhere I'm using await, I might as well use let. Whatever. But I'm not using const. Never. Not even once. Actually, I've used it where there's actually a real constant. So my daughter's having a little cry right now. But I don't want to shut the door because it'll get hot in here. And it's already getting hot in here. And I don't want to turn the AC on. But eventually I'll have to turn the AC on. So, you know, pick your poison. But she'll probably be done with that within a minute or two. If it goes on for longer than that, I'll shut the door. Okay. What are we gonna do? Let real sig. I don't know. What do I call this? Like sig2 equals sign stream shared key rstream, and then we'll do a secure compare, which I also have in my cheat sheet here. All right, secure compare strings. We'll just go ahead and use this. It's not, like I said, it's not necessary, but it doesn't hurt, and will probably make some people feel better. So, didn't hurt. All right, sig hex sig dot length sig2 dot length. So if the lengths are not equal, which this is an impossible condition, by the way. That literally can't happen. Well, no, it could happen because you could pass in the wrong signature. Absolutely could happen. It could not happen if they're valid. It can happen if they're invalid. So, yeah. All right. There we are. So now we have our verify stream. And then let's just end should always fire even if finished or close don't. I think that's true. keep this nice and clean. Do I want to just await this, maybe? Maybe I do just want to await this. I don't think that should cause any temporal distortions. Okay. All right, and so then what I should be able to do down here to test it is I should be able to sign a stream, and then I should be able to await verify stream, and then just give it the same stream a second time. Create another copy of the stream. One stream, two stream, red stream, blue stream. Huh? And then there's probably a better, let's see, could I? No, I wouldn't want to do that. So I could share the stream between the two, but I think that I could end up creating a lock condition if I did that. I'm not 100% sure. No, I shouldn't create one. But you got to be careful with async await, because you can get yourself into weird situations that you wouldn't normally get yourself into where you have deadlocks. I mean, obviously, you can get yourself into deadlocks with any, there's various ways to get yourself into deadlocks, but async await makes it really easy to get yourself into deadlocks with naive code, which is bad. Again, I consider async await to be a rather advanced feature, not a novice feature. Promises are the novice feature. Async await is the advanced feature that you should not use until you know how to do it. All right, so let's do shared key is equal to secret. Sure. All right. And then what do we need to return something with this. Duh. Now I think, is this one of the ones, let's see, we're at timing safe. No, we're not there. Crypto. Whoa, web crypto API. That got added to Node. That's actually pretty cool. Why not take a simple API and make it complicated instead? No, it's cool because there's compatibility with it, but web crypto was pretty dumb. Even I know one of the guys that was, well, not know. I am acquainted with one of the guys that was on the committee. We did a podcast together, and he talked about how it ended up being kind of obnoxious. Determining if crypto support is unavailable. What was I going to do? Timing safe. And what I want to know is, does this return Boolean? Or, okay, it does return Boolean. So in the Go API, they made the mistake of returning 0 or 1 for this. I don't know, I guess it was back in the early days of the language or something. I don't know how that came to be. But, oops, hold on, my mat. My standing mat has gotten moved over a little bit. But anyway, so this is good. So verify stream. So if not, verify stream, and then again, shared key stream 2 and sig. So if not, then we have console.error, sanity fail. Cannot verify self. Else we have console.info signatures, signatures match. Duh. Let me pull happy face in there just for, no, that one's too, no, just a good old regular smile. Where's our, that one's good enough. I like the upside down smile. Okay. Excellent. And then, yeah, I should be able to do it multiple times. Should get the same thing every time. Sweet. All right. So that's good. That's implemented. And so now we need I think that's pretty fair. If you want to wrap this or something, you wrap it on your own dime. It doesn't really need to be wrapped. But I would like to provide also the sync version, I guess. Is that what we should call it? Sign sync? Sure, verify sync. And then maybe I can just call this sign and verify. Yeah, that makes me feel better. That's what I prefer. Okay, yeah, so then we can call this sign sync and verify sync. And then instead of a stream, we can just take a UTF-8 stir. Same thing here, UTF-8 stir. And then we can apply the old magic to it. The old magic. Anybody Brandon Sanderson fans, by the way? Okay, let me see what this comment is. I like how you took a while in thinking if that exclamation mark. Yes. You are welcome. I'm glad that you enjoyed. We have to think these things through. Comments are important. Well, you got to think too. How are people going to, international people? I wanted to add the smiley face because I don't know, culturally maybe saying duh could sound rude or I don't know. I just thought I'd soften it a little bit. Put the duh in the right place. And that's very, very American. The exclamation, put the exclamation in the right place. The exclamation goes inside the parens. We know this. We know this because The Simpsons, right? Am I right? Like it, if you're right. Give me a thumbs up on that one. And by the way, remember, everybody, as you're coming and going, if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. So if you like it, thumbs up. If you don't, just give it a nice big fat fart. And also, if you do want to subscribe, hit the bell for personalized recommendations. So you get the code stuff or the other stuff if that's something you're already watching videos on. But most of what I do is code stuff. Okay, so right here, I don't need to do this stream thing anymore. We can totally ditch that. We can just do hmac.update and then give it UTF-8 stir. That seems reasonable enough. And then hmac.digest hex. And then we're just going to return that. And I think that's it. And then boom. Our life is so much simpler this way. And then likewise, this one we're going to do sign sync. And we're going to do UTF-8 stir. And we don't need any awaits in here. We don't need any asyncs in here. There we go. And is this right? That looks right to me. This looks right to me. Everything looks right to me. Okay, cool. So I think I'm ready to just go ahead and let's create an export for this. I don't want to do that init thing that I was thinking about doing at one point in time. And yeah, let's just go ahead and let me think of what's the most clever way I could do this. Because I kind of want to just iterate over these things, but I think this is the way to go about it. And then we'll just change from, what was it, sign to verify, and then blah, 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 blah. There we go. And I actually prefer to group it this way. Looks good. Now we need some documentation on this. And we also need to update the little mini test. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and do that one. And then let's go ahead. Sync mini test. So this is the stream mini test. And then I don't really need to put this out. This is more like debug info. Well, log, but it's a log I'll keep in there for funsies because I want to check that out every once in a while. Oh, bless me. Sorry. I burp on stream. What can I say? Gorilla. I'm a real man. Yeah, you don't hear the ladies burping on stream, do you? Didn't think so. And at this point, I think it would be fair enough to just go ahead and do that require because, you know, clearer code. All right, so this is going to be a read file sync. And then this is a UTF-8 stir. And then, so here's what we need to make sure of though. Let's see, this is going to be sig1. We're going to call that sig1. All right, and then for consistency's sake, we should call this one sig_b, right? Gotta be consistent. And then this should be UTF-8 stir. And that, yeah, that gives us B. Then we should basically be able to do the same thing here. Cannot verify self stream. And then let's just put this stream signatures matched. And then we can get rid of the await here. Do verify sync. Got our shared key. We don't need our stream 2 because we can just keep this in again. Oh yeah, so this would be sig1, and this is going to be sig_b, and then just another sanity check. And this would be that, you know, if sig1 is not equal to sig_b, then sync versus stream yield different signatures. So just covering our bases here. Ba-da-da-da. All right, cannot verify self, so this is going to be sync. And then this is going to be sync signatures also match as expected. Okay. And let's just put out a little console.info pass. Now, if I could remember off the top of my head what the escape hex code is for color it green, I'd put that in there. In fact, I might still do that. But let's say pass. Yeah. It's getting so big. It's like twice the size of the code. Got to separate it out into its own file pretty soon, you know? Yeah. Well, hello, and welcome to the stream. Feel free to tell me where you're from, what brings you here, what your interest is in Node, or what you use to program. When I'm looking over here, I am checking comments. So I try to do that every once in a while. Okay. All right, is that right? Did I do everything right? Verify sync, sign sync. If not verify sync. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, I guess what I should do, this is probably what I meant to do here, is like just throw an error at this point and then not have, there's no need to have this. That just complicates things. Don't make it more complex than it needs to be. If something fails, just stop, especially with something like this. And then let's just put a little dot catch, just so it doesn't give us weirdo warnings, errors, whatever. Console.error, error.stack. Well, we don't even need the error.stack. Error.message is good enough in this particular case. All right, throw new error. Yep, all right, looks good. Let's see if it passes still. Oh, cannot set sign of undefined something something sign equals. What? Module.exports. Come on, guys and gals. Y'all didn't see that? You couldn't warn me of the dangers of my own code? What are you even watching for, huh? Somebody knew that was coming. All right, there we go. Okay, one last little tweak. I like to just have a little bit of white space around these sorts of things because it makes it a little easier to discern, what's going on. Boom, that looks great. Love it. Okay, cool. Cool beans, cool beans. So, I don't know. Verify signature, sign and verify. What should I call this thing? I don't like verify signature as the name of it anymore. Webhook. Sign and verify. Just HMAC. I don't know. Signature.js. Index.js? Sure, why not? I don't know. I'm just going to leave it there. I don't have a good solution for it, so I'll just leave it as I named it. Okay, so the next thing is we need to extrapolate this into just something for Express. So webhook, express.js, and systems that are like Express, module.export equals function. This is kind of the way that Express works. You can always return a function that has a thing. So maybe we would put in here shared key. This would be the way that a normal Express Mabob would work. And then this would have the rec res next. And then, here we would do HMAC. This would be panda HMAC equals require. Maybe we should call that HMAC then, Panda HMAC. Yeah, okay, we can call it Panda HMAC. Well, we don't need to call it Panda. Thing is, I don't want it to be confused with sign verify. I don't want it to be confused with, we're not re-implementing HMAC, we're just narrowing down what's the Panda HMAC, but then Panda HMAC kind of stutters. But sign, what do we call it when you sign and verify? Don't we have a word? Because we have codec for encode and decode. Don't we have a word for both sign and verify? Anyway, let me see what comments we got here. I always thought webhooks is a feature on Git which helps emitting events. Well, GitHub has webhooks. Git has hooks, and GitHub has webhooks. Are you coding your own webhook? If yes, how is it different from a normal REST or web application? So that's the thing. There is no such thing as normal. This is something I said at the beginning of the video. There's no such thing as a normal webhook, which is part of the problem. All webhooks are bespoke, meaning they're custom, they're tuned to the integration that you're working with. So this is for PandaDoc. I'm building this to be able to check PandaDoc signature verifications. Okay, what's the next bit here? Sorry, I should have Googled, but feeling lazy. No, I mean, that's one of the things too, where if you're not really clear in your language, your Googling may not yield results that make sense and help lead to your better understanding. So no, that's fine. So take a step back down memory lane towards the beginning of this video. This is what I'm working from. So PandaDoc developers, webhook, signature equals sig. This is what I'm building towards. I have to update our signature to do what it says here. And they really don't give a whole lot, in terms of, I mean, I guess this is enough, but they don't actually give an example that is complete in any sense here. But it's enough. It's enough. So if I just look at the Python code, right? This is one of the things people ask me, what programming language should I learn, blah, 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 blah. No, you learn programming. You learn programming, then you learn a programming language. I recommend people often learn Python to learn programming. Don't learn Python as a programming language. It's not a good programming language. It's just a good language for learning to program. Mentally, Anyway, and Python code is, it kind of reads like pseudocode. It's pretty easy to read in almost all situations. So anyway, signature is equal to HMAC, key, body, and digest hash 256, and then hex digest. So to me, being familiar with cryptography and various hashing libraries across different languages, like I read this and I get, okay, I'm pretty sure I understand what they want there. So I'm relatively confident that what I just wrote, because they are using HMAC, I'm using HMAC the way that it's intended. I'm relatively confident that this is all going to work. I just need to expressify it. Okay, so then we're going to have rec.query.signature. Okay, so untrusted. Yeah, actually, I like untrusted hex sig. That's a little bit explicit, but I want it to be really clear to the reader. This is the thing that we do not trust. And then what are we going to do? We're going to take panda hmac dot, so what we need to do here is if rec.body, we need to next error, let's see, we're going to do new error, so pandadoc webhook must exist before, let's see, must what? Not exist. Panda webhook middleware must be inserted, applied, used, because use, app.use, must be used before any body parser. Okay, so because this is the number one mistake a developer is going to make with this library, is that it's going to come after a body parser. And so for this reason, how could I make this even better? So I kind of want this in two parts. One part to deal with the body, and another part to deal with the verification. So we'll figure out what this is. But I kind of want to be able to use this in two places. We'll see. And then we probably need to throw in some options here. So we'll get into that in a second. I'm kind of thinking ahead in my head, but my mouth can't catch up yet. And I've got three things going on here, so I need to actually finish something first before I move on again and again and again. All right. So, okay, this is complaining what? Probably because, all right, I've got that hanging there. So what I want to do then is I want to verify, and we're going to verify with a shared key. Cool, shared key. So that's going to be already passed in. And I'm going to verify rec. Just rec. That's my stream. Right? Yeah, rec is my stream. And then untrusted hex sig. That's my signature, right? So this, let's see, we're going to make this async, and then we're going to be able to wait this, and then now we don't throw. That makes sense. We don't want to throw. So if not verified, then, okay, so first of all, yeah, okay, I'm going to continue down this route. So if not verified, let me check. We got any other comments here? Okay. All right. So if not verified, by the way, if you find this useful, share with your friends or your coworkers or whatever. I don't really know about how to grow a channel. I'm not really hip on all the social media stuff, but I know you're supposed to ask people like, hey, why don't you share this with your friends? Because I guess the ultimate goal for me with this would be I do really want to teach people how to code more expertly. And of course, I'm obviously not reaching a broad enough audience yet because I'm not getting enough hate mail. I get very little hate mail over this. And if you claim like, hey, I code like an expert, you should get some flamers after you on that one. I haven't started a holy war. I don't really want to go down into the rabbit hole of a holy war, but if I'm not starting one, I'm probably not doing a good enough job of reaching people and whatnot. So if you think this is good, share with people, and feel free to bring opposite opinions to the table. Anyway, all right, pandadoc hmac verify. So if that is not the case, then I think what we want to do is we do want to send a new error. Now, I think I might want an error function here. I like to just sometimes call this function E. All right, message. And then we're going to do new error message, duh. Oh, what? Let's just let. But then let's put a code on here. So .code is equal to panda webhook. I don't know. Sure. And I need to go look this up because this is something I need to be doing better, is exporting errors as their own subclass of error. But just sticking a code on here to kind of say, like, hey, this is what this is. E pandadoc webhook. Yeah, that's great, right? Because we want to I don't want to do something like this. And the reason being, and also this is the other thing that needs to happen, error.message, because I actually want these to be able to propagate. And then we might want an error.detail and just put that as a to-do. And typically the way that I like to do this is actually make the message a user-friendly message. So let's go ahead and follow that pattern. So what I'll do is I'll put the detail down here. So I'll do error.detail equals, we'll call this detail instead. Detail. And then we won't do this. So here's the thing with the message too. Messages, for some silly reason, are non-enumerable by default. And so you have to make them enumerable by doing this thing, error.message equals message. So whatever, it's just a thing. Oh, hello, welcome to the channel. I am, I'm kind of going over the Pandadoc. Pandadoc is a third-party service for document signing. Anyway, they've got a webhook, because it's a process that takes some time. So you send out a document to get it signed, and then they come back and they notify like, hey, the document was signed, and then it kicks off an event in our system. Then the user gets an email like, so-and-so signed the document kind of thing. So they did not have a Node library available for verifying their signatures. And so we weren't verifying their signatures. And this is really bad because it can lead to bad things. And so I'm fixing that by creating, there was nothing available for Pandadoc on NPM presently. And so I just decided, this is something that doesn't fall within our purview of proprietary intellectual property. This is something that really does belong in the community. So I'm just going to publish it as a module. And yeah, just trying to make this nice and ergonomic, something that we can easily test. Anyway, what I was saying right here was I like it when the message on an error message is something that's pretty human friendly. So this should be, I mean, ideally, a person should never see this message. Because this is for a webhook anyway. So maybe I don't even need to go that route because I can't think of a way that a person would see this unless they were an attacker. So maybe I won't do it now that I'm thinking about it. Okay, so we'll just leave this as is. We won't need a detail. We'll just leave the message be this. And then to be more clear, I'll call this create error. All right, so we'll just call this create error, and we'll give that message. And then here, we'll do the same thing, create error, and this would be signature equals XXX does not match trusted signature. HMAC of shared key. SHA-256 HMAC. Just give lots of detail. Signature equals, and then maybe we should put this in there. I mean, because this is going to be on the side of PandaDoc, so I mean their developers are not going to see this, but let's just humor for a second. Does not match some of the request body using the shared key. That's a little bit verbose, whatever. I'm going with it. Okay, so now there's a couple things I want to change about this, because given our situation where we're segmenting stuff off with the webhooks and I don't want to have to rearrange our code, what I need to do with this is I actually need a way for this to be able to run as one of the first things that run. And then I need to be able to check it later. So what I really need is a couple of things. So this is why I need ops. So let's say, yeah, so that's in the right place. So let's say ops dot, oh gosh, I just had this conversation with somebody the other day and I forget what resolution we came to. So give me just a second. I'm going to go look at some other code. I think it was right in here. Oh, it was in here. No, where was it? We were talking about it. We came to a good conclusion. It was in this code. It was in this code right here. Where was it? Was it an index? No, it was not index because nothing's in index. It was in lib. So was it strict? No. We were talking about why it shouldn't be strict. It was options that can be passed in for this. It was something like maybe optional. Let me go take a look at the README maybe. Let me go take a README here. So it's not this part. Sorry, I'm just jumping through some code here looking for, oh, it's the verifier. It was in the verify function. So let's go take a look at, yeah, that middleware index optional. Okay. So optional was false. I think that makes sense. Yeah. PandaDoc param. Okay. This looks good. So we're going to copy this pattern here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to say that we have some options. So if not ops equal, oops, optional is false, and let's say pandadoc param. I don't know if that's the right terminology to use. Feel free to suggest something better, but pandadoc param should be called pandadoc verified. And we'll do underscore, because that's really not something that is intended to be exposed. Okay, so then what have I had down here? So if optional and not rec.query.signature, then we can go ahead and move on. Although that doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. I'm going to be done with that one. Hold on, let me think on this. It's not optional. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. I'm going to go with optional for now, and we're going to see how this plays out. Where my head's going and how this is coming together should be clear in just a minute. I know that I'm kind of jumping all over the place, but my brain... So, supposedly, people with ADHD, their brains don't work in linear fashion, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Their brains work in like A, Q, B, 7, 2, M. It's like there's a nursery, not nursery rhyme, but there's an elementary school kind of fun book that teachers read to their kids called Sideways Stories from Wayside School or something like that. And in it, one of the kids, he can count extraordinarily high. Like, he can count the number of hairs on somebody's head, and he always gets the right answer, but he doesn't count in order. And, you know, frustrates the teachers because they can't figure out how he knows. But so supposedly that's a thing with ADHD people. I don't know how much I buy into all of that. The reason being that I think it's kind of like if you were to say, you know, let's take 100 white people and stick them in a room and have them talk about their problems. And at the end of the day, they say, oh, well, you know, I forget my keys sometimes. And then you just started hashtagging like white people forgot my keys today, white people problems. It's like, well, you have a lot of bias in that you selected a group and you didn't have a control. And then you just said that because these people do this thing, that it's related to this attribute that you randomly selected them by. And that would, you know, not work out. I mean, that's done a ton in pop culture and stuff. But with this ADHD stuff, I don't know how true it is. I'm exploring it. I'm learning about it. A lot of it does sound similar to me, but I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid quite yet. Still drinking the apple juice. Anyway, so this is all going to become clear in a second. Oh, and yeah, let me say hi, Nick. Yeah, so Nick, you want to give me a gist on how to extend the error, but not as a class. I don't want to do a class crap. Can you show me how to do it just vanilla JavaScript? Because you give me a gist for that, I'll do it. I think I'll also keep this thing here like this, but I don't want to have to use new. That's one of my things. You should never use this in JavaScript. If you're using this in JavaScript, you're kind of abusing the language. This is intended for prototypes, which is by the word. I mean, like, this is the thing that boggles my mind is people are, oh, prototypes are so complicated. Like, what? Well, first of all, it's like classes, but it's called prototypes. It's not that complicated. It's just the word prototype. But think about it. The word prototype. What does the word prototype mean? What does that tell you? It's an internal language feature that's intended to be able to prototype new features of the language rapidly and then polyfill them into the browser or the environment. It's not meant for people to go creating their own crazy crap. It's meant for the incomplete language to be completed. It is a metaprogramming feature. It is not something that the average or advanced developer should be using 90% of the time. Anyway. Oh, do you need to go to mommy? Do you need some help from mommy? Hold on just one second. We're gonna get to the point where this all makes sense, I promise. Hey, mommy. Can you help Addie? She says ow. Something hurts maybe? Will you take a look real quick? Okay. All right. Okay. And I'm back. All right. Now we're going to get to the point where this all comes together. Maybe. Okay, let me first... Gosh. I don't like... Okay, and here... Let me copy over from... Well, I guess I can't copy over from another... Oh, excuse me, sorry. Another project. I'm just going to copy over this JSHint RC, and I'm going to copy over this prettier RC, and let me adjust this to the way that I personally like it, rather than the way that our team is set up right now. Okay, single quote. Yeah, I actually kind of like single quotes because then you don't have to hit shift, so that's nice. Trailing comma, whatever. Yeah, actually, I'm starting to come around to trailing commas better, all of them. That's how Go does it. Bracket spacing, true. JSX, nada. Semis. Yeah, I think that's the default pros wrap always. Okay, so that's looking good. And then what about JSHint RC? Don't need any of this. Eek. Emid, undef, unused. Yeah. I don't know what that means. So we're just going to go with, and I don't know that I want lax break actually. Whatever, we're going to go with it. Okay, let me open this up one more time. As is. There we go. Oh, that's actually did not make it that much better. Okay, but it's a little more readable now. So the reason that I'm doing optional here, and I should just put a comment, in case we need to evaluate the signature in one area, but verify it in another. All right, so here's what we're going to do, is I'm going to do this. So this I actually need to do this the reverse way now. So this we need to do rec, and then what is it? I guess it's actually like this actually. If not ops dot thingy, ops dot thingy is going to be equal to that. Sure, let's do it. Okay, and so then we're going to need down here this equals true. And then I guess that we're nextable at that point. So let's go ahead and next out. And then here's where this comes into play. So if optional, at this point we can next out. Otherwise, we're going to create the error. And I'm trying to think about what's going on? Why are you complaining? Ah, that didn't. Okay. So now let me explain this from top to bottom. Okay, so here we're just setting up what the option should be in the defaults for the options and what the shared key is. This is normal Express style. This is kind of the constructor function for Express. Is you export the constructor function, then that returns the actual function that does the checking. For fun, let's go ahead and give this, let's call this pandadoc verify create paradox. Yeah, just so that when it shows up in stack traces and something, we get a little extra. So panda doc verify. All right. Now, if there is a body, then we know that a body parser has already been called, in which case we need to go ahead and error out. We need to give a descriptive user for the developer as to why, because this is the most common error, is that almost everybody has a body parser in Express, but PandaDoc needs the raw bytes. It does not sort the keys alphabetically and hash them. It hashes the raw bytes. And I'll check the comments in just a second. I see another one came in out of the corner of my eye there. And then... so we come down here and we need to know if this is optional, because if this is optional and there's not a signature, we can just go on. We won't set the PandaDoc param to be verified, and we won't check that there's a signature. So this makes this slightly more versatile, and it's going to work for the way that I need it to work, which you'll see in maybe 10 or 20 minutes or something. Now, then we've got the untrusted signature that we're getting from the query as documented in the PandaDoc documentation. So at this point, we are going to run our Panda HMAC, which is normal HMAC, but just slimmed down to the parameters that are required by PandaDoc. So we're going to run that verification with the shared key that was already given in the constructor, as it were, on the request, which has not been body parsed, which means that we have the raw stream, and then giving the string to match it against. So it's going to create a signature for these, and then it's going to check securely timing safe equals, even though that's not necessary because it's hashed anyway, does the untrusted sig match? If that is the case, then the PandaDoc param is going to be set to true. This is so that we will be able to use this elsewhere, as you'll see in just a second. So if everything passes, if we've got it and it passes, then we go on to the next one. Now, if it's optional, we simply don't set this true and we go on to the next one. If it's not optional, then at this point, we can go ahead and give this error. And I don't know, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if I actually need it to be optional, but I was thinking that I would, and we'll see why in just a minute. So now the next bit would be that this, so let's actually not return this yet. So let's call this the verifier. Verifier equals, oh, why is this not working for me? Oh, defined but never used, right. So, okay, we'll return verifier, but we can do this little, I'm 6 of one, half a dozen on the other on this, but we can do verifier.require, or let's see, enforce, or I don't know what we should call it. Yeah, let's just call it require or must require. I think that's, yeah, so require, and then we can do this little ditty. Okay, so now we're going to have a recres next. And then basically, I'm going to take this error right here. I guess I'm just going to recreate it. So let me do signature mismatch signature, because the reason I'm not going to create the error elsewhere, the reason that I'm going to create the error here and then save the signature is because we want the stack trace. It's really, really important to keep stack traces, and it's really easy to be forgetful and to create a single instance of an error that you throw around, because that seems to make sense, but then you're gonna lose the stack trace of where it was created, and that's really, really handy to have. So we want to keep the stack trace whole. So that's what that should be. And then we're going to have the same error here. I'm going to go ahead and do this. This is going to be possible. So if we do not get this thing right here, so if not, and then let's be more explicit, if it's not strict equal to true, because there, something else could go on, I don't know. But if it's not strict equal to true, then we want to, next with the error, and then otherwise we just want a next. So what this allows us to do is to optionally say, hey, you can use it or not use it earlier on in the process. But if it fails, then Oh, crud. Oh, crud. We have one more problem here, which is that rec.body is going to be consumed. We need another listener. Okay. So we're going to need to do this little bit here. We're going to need to do rec.body.onData. And we're going to need to do... And technically this could throw, actually. So I'm going to do a .catch. Dang. What do I need to do for that? Because there is a case where it could throw. Let's just handle it here. This should prevent it from... No, that's not going to prevent it from throwing. Okay, now I got to think about this for a second. Okay, so what we need to do here... Now it makes me think that maybe we ought to just do the sync version of this. But anyway, all right, let body equal... gosh, there's cases where this could go wrong. I really wish they would have alphabetized the keys rather than require that you SHA-SUM the body, because that is less convenient in, I think, most web frameworks. So anyway, we're going to say body is a string, then body plus equals, or let's do body is an array. Yeah. And then we can do data.toString UTF-8. And then to do should check for application JSON, etc. But I'm not going to do that right now. And then when body ends, then we should be able to do body.join let JSON equal nada. So we should be able to do JSON.parse. This means I got to do some error handling that I wasn't thinking about doing. So I'm glad that I went through this. Anyway, so I'm going to come back to that in a second, but let's say we do that. So we've got our JSON, and then I guess this is actually rec.body. No, rec.on, sorry, not rec.body on, rec.on. Yeah, and then I'll get to that comment in just a second, sorry. Oh, so we do need that one. We don't need this one. We could put that there. Yeah, because we're not going to use the body parser, but then this gives us other problems. So now actually I just want to go use the express body parser. So let me go look that up, because I don't want to have to deal with, I don't like this. There's too many exceptions that I have to deal with for them. Okay, you know what I should do though? Here's what I'm going to do. We're gonna restructure this. I guess that, yeah, we're going to restructure this because in my little thing, first of all, let me go ahead and rename that. Let me go back here. And I'm just going to, I am going to cut in like 30 seconds to the comments, sorry. Webhook, verify signature. Let's just go ahead and call this webhook.hmac right now. All right, so this needs to give back multiple things. I don't like that. I don't like that, Sam I am. Okay, so if it's verify, sign and verify on the async side. Then it needs to give back two strings. It needs to give back the signature, and it needs to give back the body. So signature, and then body. And then body is going to be body.join with nothingness. And the way that we're going to get that is our stream.onData. And we're going to do let body equal this. Or we could say chunks. That might be more appropriate. Okay, I said 30 seconds. Okay, I'm coming back over here. Let's see. He knows the word oh. I I missed that. Ow? Oh? Right. Random, but do you have any opinions on Jest, the unit testing framework? I don't know if I have any opinions on that one, actually. My experience has been with all of the JavaScript frameworks that they all suck. My usual response to things. It all sucks. But here's why. It's the reason everything in the JavaScript community sucks. It's because nothing was developed for JavaScript by JavaScript developers. It was always other people coming in, infiltrating JavaScript, and then just dumping their crap. So I'm trying to remember what Jest is like, but most of them, they do really weird things. They insert global variables. They do introspection on the code. They just do a bunch of ninja magic, and then they don't handle asynchronous properly. Now, if I remember correctly, Jest is maybe one of the least offenders. I think that the latest version of Jest actually does handle async code with promises and async await, and actually does feel JavaScripty and doesn't have all of those global it variables and stuff like that being injected. So correct me if I'm wrong, but if I'm remembering Jest correctly, it is one of the ones that offends me the least. But I don't know that it is actually designed for JavaScript, and that's the problem with these things, is that they ought to be designed for JavaScript. Let's go ahead and lazy evaluate these chunks. So we'll go ahead, we'll build the chunks. Pipe, yeah, these are all going to finish in the same event cycle, so it won't matter. Yeah, so we're gonna build up the chunks, and then we'll go down here. We'll do chunks.map, and so here I will map the chunks at this point. Chunk.toString UTF-8, and maybe this isn't the best way to go about it. Maybe I should just eager. Yeah, I'm going to eager encode it. This feels sloppier. So technically it's a better pattern because it's lazier evaluation. We don't evaluate until we know that we need it. But it feels a little sloppy, so I don't want to do that. So then we can join all of our chunks right here. Let's get rid of that, and this should make us happy. Whoa. Whoa. There we go. Need that. Okay, chunks. So we need to have chunks here. Yes. Okay, now this is happy. But now we're not getting a sig2. Now we're getting sig2++. So sig2.signature. And then we need sig2.signature. So now that will work. But the problem here is that then we also need to return the body as well. So then I need body is sig2.signature. Really, basically what we do here is we just take sig2.verified equals. Oops. And then we're going to return sig2. And then let's not call it sig2. Let's call it result. Let's just call it res. sig2 res. And now we need to update our little test mabob down here. So now with our test mabob, we need res. We'll call it res1. And then we need to do res1.signature. And then we're going to get out of this, let res2 equal. And then I don't like this. 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 This doesn't feel right. No, it's not right. I'm undoing it. I'm undoing the whole thing. We're going back to the way that it was before. It just doesn't feel right. It feels like it's going to be prone to errors because if a verify function should do one of two things. It should either return true or false, or it should return true or throw an error. And in this case, it can actually return false or throw an error, because there can actually be an error with the stream. So there's already that, which is working against it for being what it ought to be. So yeah. Yeah, so it's already a problem for me. So I don't want to go further down that hole. And this is all because the bytes, because we have to do exact bytes. Is there another way that we could get the bytes and let we could not wait. We could just attach a listener to it. Assume something else will handle the errors. Yeah, okay, this is just going to be a two-part middleware. It's going to be a weird two-part middleware. Okay, going to check out comments here. Have you tried VS Code for JavaScript development? What did you think? Here's the thing. The reason I don't use VS Code isn't... I think VS Code's great. I think... I'm going to shut the door here. Hold on. So I think VS Code is great, but the problem is that it's not a command line based text editor, and it's just removing you too far from what you need to do to get your work done. It's removing you from the server. It's removing you from the command line. It's got that little mini command line in there, but people get too, I don't know. It's like they're attached to it, but it's not they're attached to the productivity. It's like I'm just going to say this, I don't mean this offensively, but they're attached to their ignorance, essentially, is what VS Code becomes. So is VS Code a powerful tool? Yeah. Can it do some things that you can't do in, say, Vim? I don't know. Probably not. Maybe. I mean, there's some tools that are exclusively for VS Code, sure. But it's not like as an editor it has any advantage over Vim. Vim can do everything VS Code can do, right? I mean, I don't have mouse integration turned on this one, but I find it more annoying more often than not. I find the mouse integration actually trips me up because it activates when I don't want it to. But anyway, so I think VS Code is great. I think it's a great tool to have in the toolbox. I definitely think it beats out just about every other graphical tool. I think it has, one awesome feature that it has when it works, which has been 50-50, but I think they've kind of brought it further from alpha to beta to kind of production by now. But there's a VS Code share tool where you can pair program together. I think that's amazing, at least conceptually. I've tried it out a couple of times and had mixed results, but I'd love to try it again because I imagine that the kinks have been worked out by now. The SSH integration seems really cool. I haven't used it as much as I should. Also, again, I've had some problems with it, but since then, I should give it a second try because they probably got the kinks worked out. I think if they get the SSH integration on point and start teaching people, like, hey, you should be developing on the server where the code really runs. You should be not like all the way the heck over here in some completely different environment that doesn't resemble the web, but you should be, boom, right here where the web is. That's where you should be developing. If they can kind of start pushing that mentality, then I'd say, yeah, like, let's get more people on VS Code. But where it's kind of an afterthought and it wasn't really fleshed out to begin with, that's my concern. When you use Vim, Vim is going to work everywhere. Vim is going to work on Windows, Mac, and Linux, which VS Code does too, but it's going to work on servers and devices. Your thermostat will have Vim installed on it if you can SSH into your thermostat, that is. Anyway, let me get back to this. And this is so frustrating. This is so frustrating because basically I need two things. I need to collect the body. Think on this. Okay, there's a feature of streams that you can listen to a stream without activating the stream. That's what we need to look at. Also, I just remembered something kind of stupid and non-consequential, but this should actually be once, and this should also be once. You should only once on your errors and your ends and your closes and stuff like that, because they can only happen once. And then basically you just garbage collect sooner. So slight minor optimization, but it's one of those things where there's zero downside and there's 100% of the upside. So, you should always take those odds. When you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, always choose that pattern in programming. Oh, bless me again. So we're going to go look at Node Stream. And there's basically something that you can do you can say pause, event pause. Is it pause? Readable.pause will cause the stream in flowing mode to stop emitting data events, switching out of flowing mode. Any data then becomes available. Okay, so there's this thing that happens when you do on data, which is that it puts the stream into flowing mode, as they call it. So let's go back up to the top here if we can, and let's see if we can find, where's the data event? Okay, writable stream emits finish, but not, is it readable stream does not emit finish. Okay, so finish and end are what are guaranteed. Okay, so writable stream does not guarantee end, it guarantees finish. Readable stream guarantees end. Kind of a pity that they're asymmetric that way, but whatever. That was the thing in the last, was it the last stream that I was hung up on, or was it earlier this one? I think it was earlier this one. Okay, so what we've got to do is find out pipe, read, readable, resume, event, data. So a stream starts paused. When you do on data, the stream goes into flow mode. It becomes unpaused. So what needs to happen here is that I need to set the listeners and the pipe, and then I need to pause the stream so that it happens in the same event loop so that no data actually flows through the pipe. So that then, however the user has their body parser configured, the body parser will be able to start the flow at that stage, and this will be listening for the body and doing the hash on it, but it won't interfere with collecting the body, and then we don't have to duplicate any logic for the body parsing and the content types and blah, 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 which I do not want to have to deal with. Okay, so event data, and whenever readable is called, data event, listener callback. Come on. Okay, let's see. Starts. We have start. Our stream will start flowing again. Okay, adding readable event handler automatically makes the stream stop flowing. Okay, that's cool. Readable is removed. The stream will start flowing. Let's take a look. Pause. On, readable, and then pause. Pause method will cause the stream and flowing mode to stop emitting data events, switching out of flowing mode. Any data becomes available or remain in the internal buffer. Okay. Options. Starts. Read start. Start. Socket on end. Socket.resume. Okay. start. If both readable and data are used at the same time, readable takes precedence, controlling flow. Okay, so we're going to have to do a little experiment to figure this out. Thankfully, we have a little test already set up to be able to figure out this experiment. Okay, going to check out down here. Any more questions? Oh, thoughts on Emacs. Sorry, I didn't see that earlier. I don't get as many comments from the Twitch stream. I don't know. Like, I don't have any affinity towards Emacs because it's not something that's going to come pre-installed everywhere. And my understanding is it's kind of heavyweight. I think that's why some people don't like it. But in terms of, knowing the bindings, if you use Bash, this is hilarious. You have to know both Emacs and Vim bindings, because if you're using less, you have to use the Vim bindings to navigate. It's J and K to go up and down. It's, all of the Vim bindings apply in all of your pagers, right? And then in Bash, you have Control A, Control E, et cetera, et cetera. So you end up learning all of these Emacs bindings that it isn't until later in life that you find out were Emacs bindings. So it's kind of funny. You have to end up being familiar with both paradigms, even though you may not know it. And so, yeah. But I've never used Emacs. I don't have anything bad to say about it, other than that Vim is the one true editor. So, there's that. Okay, so let's do this and let's see. All right, create read stream. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say that I need to think here. Okay, this is another one of the dangers of async await. If I await, no, this won't apply in Express. Will it? Edge case, it could. Sorry for being in my head, but I just need to think. This is one of those stupid problems. Just blah, 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 blah. All right. So essentially, let me get rid of this. Let me see how to do this. I guess, really, let me just do this in a different file. This is what I need to figure out. So let's call this foo.js. And we're going to read in the file stream 1 and stream 2. Let's go ahead and just wrap this thing in an async function for whatever reason. I don't actually, no, we don't need to do that. Use strict. No. Okay. So we're going to create a stream. Here's my conundrum. So let's do stream1.on data. And we're going to print out console.info. By the way, in general, you should not use onData. I regret it every single time that I show people to do this, because this is a force of habit. This is so the 2009 way to do this. It is absolutely wrong. It's been clarified multiple times. You do not use onData. You either use a pipe or you use a read loop. So what this would be on readable. That's what this should be. Sorry, and I'll go correct the other code, maybe. Well, I'm using multiple. No, I actually do want onData in that specific case because I'm using a pipe, and so data is going to emit whenever a readable event fires. So I actually do need to test this with data. But I also need to test it with readable. So this is what I need to do. So any pipe is going to be using readable. I'm assuming Now we have to go check something else, internal implementation details, Express Bodyparser. We need to go look up the Express Bodyparser and find out, unfortunately, what is its internal implementation for reading. Let's see. Okay, is it using pipe or is it using on something? On? I don't see any on. Is it pipe? It is pipe. Good. So if it's using pipe, that means that it's going to be doing the right thing. So pipe is going to do call readable. So if I want to test this correctly, this dot read while this dot read. Let's sure stuff. Let's just do a counter instead, actually. I don't know. Linter's complaining because it doesn't like that. And it should complain because of that. But in this particular case, that is actually what I mean. This is Ninja code, don't do it. Well, I guess then I shouldn't do it, right? So the appropriate thing would be this. If not stuff, break. That is the correct way to write this. All right, so we don't need this. We do need that. I don't think we need this. Chunk. Okay, stream1.pause. And then I'm going to set timeout to emulate how this actually happens in Express, which is some undefined amount of time. So let's do 3 seconds go by. And then I'm going to do stream.pipe. And we're going to give process.standardout. Okay, so what this should be is hash pipe. You got your big jeans. Ba-na-na-na. I got my hash pipe. All right, and this should be, do I even need this? I don't think I even need this. Okay, so I think this will work the way I expect. So what I should not see any hash pipe. And then stream is not defined down here. Okay. And then let's make it 2 seconds because 3 seconds is a long time to wait in silence. And then after 2 seconds, I should see hash pipe. So it should become readable. I should pause it immediately before it has a chance to do any actual reading within the same event loop. Then in another event loop, I should start another pipe, which should start another readable, which should cause it to unpause. And that should cause everything to, be hunky-dory. All right, so let's check this out. No. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Dang it. So basically what this means is I can't think of a way to not end up duplicating the body decoder. The body parser. There's got to be a way to do this. It's just like, curse you, PandaDoc. Somebody's got to have a good solution for how to do this, though. I'm going to open up the door now that there's not a bunch of noise. It's getting warm in here. This is just frustrating. Well, it's so, yeah, it's not to hate Node.js streams. It's that Node was the unfortunate victim of celebrity. Node was in its infancy when it started becoming more popular than any project with such inexperienced people having written so little code should ever have been. I mean, it was an absolute confluence of, it was amazing. But basically, you had some college kids, which, not to knock on college kids, obviously smart guys came up with great ideas, but you had a bunch of college kids creating a framework for the internet, essentially, you know? And that didn't turn out well. There was not the right, I mean, especially at the beginning, because nobody knew it was going to be important or popular. I mean, I think there was something in the water, obviously, because it got picked up on, but it was just moving too fast with too little experience. And if there had been some, super seniors, people that had 20 years of experience, that understood how the internet worked really well, that understood concurrent programming, Node could be way better, but that's not how it went. It was something that hit a niche really hard and just ran full steam, and that's nobody's fault. It's literally a miracle. But there are warts as a result of that. And one of the best things that happened for Node actually was when it lost sponsorship, because that gave it some time to cool down. One of the best things that can happen to a project is when it gets crippled, because it gives it some time to cool down and mature. So there's the whole thing with the trademark and IOJS and all that, at the time seemed really obnoxious, but in the end, it actually made a lot of sense. Okay, so I've got Bodyparser. And I got bodyparser.json. If I call that on something. So essentially what I'm thinking, can this work out? If it all happens essentially within the same event loop, it'll be okay. Oh, bless me again. All right, we're just going to try it. We're just going to try it and hope for the best. Because that just makes me sad, though, because what I was hoping would happen here is that this would unpause, and then this would pause it, so it would be in a pause state at this point right here, and then this would unpause, and then we'd see whatever the contents were get piped to standard out. That's what I was hoping for. And that would be the desired behavior, and that'd make me feel good. But instead, what we saw was it did not get repaused. It was resumed prematurely. Okay, so let's get rid of that experiment. Okay, so basically, I cannot blame the people that skipped on implementing this, because it is not as naive. It takes some thought work. I don't know. To be fair, I probably could have gotten this done in 30 minutes if it was just like, okay, I'm just going to hack this together in whatever way and be done with it. 30 minutes, an hour or something. But I don't want to do that. I want this to feel solid and to feel right. So, okay, here's what I don't want to do then. Let me think about this a little bit more. I'm going to go back to the Express. So what needs to happen here is this needs to be the listener. So the listener needs to start the verification process, but not await. because we need within the same tick, which I think can still happen because Express is going to tick, tick, tick. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to have bodyparser.json, bodyparser.url encoded, blah, blah, blah. So essentially, this is going to be a body parser. That's what we've got here. We've got a body parser, except this is going to parse the PandaDoc signature. So we are not going to await, because this is now a two-part module. It is a body parser. So let's call it, I think we should probably call it body parser. I don't know. But this is a body parser. So what's going to happen here is we're going to run verify, and we're going to let now we're going to call this PandaDoc promise. We'll call it PandaDoc signature promise. Kind of a bulky name, but we'll go with it. All right, what are you complaining about? Verifiers defined but never used. Didn't we use down here? Oh, unrecoverable syntax error. That's why things. Okay. So we can know immediately if there was a problem there. We can know immediately if we can skip. And then here we just need to do rec PandaDoc param is equal to this promise. Okay, now one thing that we ought to do with this is have a .catch, which takes an error, and that error is going to be handled somewhere else. Ideally we can't know if we're the only handler of that error, but we can assume that there's another body parser. You're not going to just be checking the signature and do nothing with the data, right? So and it's kind of strange that it doesn't include the URL with the body, because what if you just need a thing that doesn't have much in the way of body? Anyway, so with this case, we're just going to return an empty string as the signature if there's an error. Now, the error that this should actually get handled, okay, let's just say this, should be handled by body parser. This type of stream error should be handled by body parser. That's what we expect. Well, we should say that, not should. We expect this type of stream error. We expect stream errors to be handled by a body parser. We ignore this error because we expect stream errors. There we go. I like that. Good wording, precise, communicates effectively, I think. Feel free to argue with me. All right. Yeah, just deal with it. Come on. I guess the comment's enough, but I wish I could tell JS Hint, if you see an underscore, ignore that, because underscore is a convention to say, hey, I intentionally did not do anything with this. All right, now what's wrong? So we've got that. What's wrong? What's going on here? Do we need this? Okay, so we do not do that. Nope. And we just do this. This is what we do. That's it. Right? That's all we can do. Okay. So we're going to verify this. We're going to ignore stream errors. And then we're going to go on to the, I guess, verify. So maybe this should have two parts. Maybe there should be a parse and a verify. In any case, this works out for me. So now, here, we're going to await. Whoops, sorry, that should be async. So we're going to await this promise. And let's do this. Let's catch first. I'm trying to think, why would we need to catch? Because we just caught there. So we don't need to catch. So we just need to do the dot then, right? So let result equal this. And then if, well, basically, yeah, so if result not, so true, if true, remember, no one ever regretted putting a constant on the left. No one. So if true is not equal to result, then we need to do our error and return. Otherwise, we just do our next. I think that's it. Okay, I like this solution. I am much less frustrated now. This feels sane. If we can assume that the body parser is going to operate as we expect it to. So then, now we need a little test for this. So how do we test this? How do we test this? Let's just do the same thing we did before. If require.main is equal to module, and then we'll just do a little, mabob down here. Console.error, error.stack. Okay, and then here, what we should do is we're going to create our do you like my daughter's piano? I don't know if you can hear that. I imagine you can. I think she's doing a great job. Oh, and by the way, as y'all are coming and going, remember, if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. So thumbs up if you got them. Otherwise, just give it a big fat fart. And if you want to subscribe, remember to click the bell for personalized recommendations, and you'll get the code stuff and any of the other stuff that I do that you're interested in. All right, so we're going to do let middleware equals, and then what are we supposed to pass in here? The shared key is going to be secret. So let's do let shared key equals secret. Shared key. Okay. And then we're just going to fudge this with, can we do a body parser on this as well? I think we can. We're going to do let rec equal fs.create read stream, and we're just going to pass in file name. Whoops, and that should work just fine. And then we'll do a fake body parser as well. So we should be able to do middleware rec. We don't need anything there. We just put null and then function next. So then our next function, error. So if we have an error, then what we want to do is what? Throw error, I guess. And then we shouldn't have an error. That's not possible. Bless me. Let's see what we got going on here. Let's see. We got middleware. So we're going to do our test. And then we're going to take our rec and we're going to do on readable. Basically, we're just gonna, let's just pipe this to standard. No, I don't want to pipe it to standard out. It would be nice if I could create a pipe. Do we have a node pipe that just goes to a buffer? Like a faux pipe for Node? Node.js pipe to buffer. Convert stream into buffer. See, the nice thing about Golang is that all of this type of stuff is already thought of. Everything you need for mocking things, it's all just there. And Node is pretty good. I mean, it's not bad. Let's see, stream to buffer. Yeah, I don't know that I want that. Writable stream, using writable stream, data, write on, converter, stream, writable. Sure, why not? Yeah, that's true. Event is finished, not end. That's true. Yeah, let's go ahead and use my superpowers for good yet again. One, two, three, four. So blessed to have a daughter that is so musically inclined. I hope that one day the sounds will even be beautiful to the average person. All right, let's see here. Let's fix all this mess. And then this should be, indeed, this should be finish. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1, 2, what? No, this, no to this, no to this, no. 1, 2, 3. Whoops, 4. Don't stop at 3. It's like Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Thou shalt count to 5. No, thou shalt count to 3. 5 shalt thou not count, except thou shalt tab to 4. 3 shalt thou not tab, lest thou tabbest to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get these things. A little bit easier to read. Let's put comments. Let's see, what have I got? I need to go paste something over here. What was this? Oh, okay, that's that thing that I'm working on right now. Okay, so and let's just not use this where it's not necessary. Insert your business logic here. Yeah, let's. All right. And that is technically not correct. Let's fix the spelling mistake there, and let's call this good. Okay. End to finish, and improve readability. Okay, let's see a little bit. This, 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 this. And yeah, maybe we can actually move. Let's move this comment. I think that comment actually would look better here. Ah, what did I do? There we go. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Very readable. Very good. Very good. Okay, cool. This is what I want right here. So I'm just going to copy this and have this be a little, I'll call it to buffer. Ah, set paste. There we go. Okay, so to buffer. Let's say next, and then when this is done, we can have a rec underscore and next, and then we can do right here rec dot body equals this, and then next. Let's see. Create a buffer from all the received chunks. Except that's not quite what we want. And yeah, then we could do toString UTF-8. Oh, sorry, I haven't been looking over the comments. Let me check. We got any new comments here? No. All right. We good to go then. We good to go. Alrighty. Okay, so that's toString on the body. All right, so we've got to buffer, and then we're going to do rec, and then do our next to function, error, if error throw, and then console.log rec.body. Oh, okay, wait. We got more stuff going on. Oh, this is one of those ones where I can't do this. This is going to have to be create readable stream of, it can't be this file because I can't possibly add a signature into this file without knowing what it is. So this would be, where are we at? Say dir name plus hmac.js. There we go. So we're going to take that file, because that file we can calculate a signature on without being dependent upon this file. Or can we? Wait, let's see. No, I think I used the same trick for this file too. So I could just do, let's see, read file sync file name to get the thing that we need to sign this with. So we can do require hmac.js.sign shared key, and then read file sync UTF-8. Okay, maybe a bit much. Let's sig equal. There we go. All right, and then we're going to say here, we got rec.query.equals signature, and then we're going to put a big fat siggy there. Good. Okay, now we're looking better. In fact, I think we can just put that like that. That'd probably be fine. All right, so that's what the signature looks like. And so now this middleware should be able to go through, and we should be able to do to buffer, and then we should be able to do middleware dot verify rec, and then again our next three. There we go. So I think this is going to work. At least I think it has the potential to work. All right. Console.info pass. Let's see what we get here. So we're going to start reading this file. Fo request as file stream. Add required query param. Okay, cool. I think this is going to work out. Webhook express. All right, we had some sort of weird thing going on here. This is not asyncy. That's the problem there. Okay, cool. rstream.pipe is not a function. rstream. All right, we're gonna have to take a look at that and see what's going on there. Oh. Did I use sign where I should have used sign sync? I did. This should be sign sync. That's the problem there. That did not work as expected. So this middleware stream.writable. Now it's time to put in the logs. Write, finish. Let's call it c.write, c.finish. We should put in here console.log m.1. We should have b.1 and m.2. Let's see where we're getting to and where we're getting hung up. Okay, we get to m.1. So, to buffer. Let's check out what's up with to buffer. Oh, I never actually did anything with this. So we need to do input.pipe, so rec.pipe converter, right? I think that's how it goes. So we're going to read, and we're going to pipe to the writer. I think that's the way of things. All right, we got c1.write. Okay, c1.onEnd. Interesting. Very interesting. I'm not sure what to make of this because this should have worked, you know? Oh, hello, welcome. I'm just banging my head against a little old node. So started on this path of setting up a webhook for PandaDoc, which is a third-party service that we use. And the way that it does hashing requires doing things a little bit differently because it requires hashing the byte stream rather than what most require, which is alphabetizing the keys of the body or the headers or something like that and then hashing it. and I'm just kind of having a little bit of trouble with the Node streams, the way they're working. Anyway, where are you from? What do you do? What brings you to the channel and interest in Node? I'll check back over the comments in a little bit. When I look right here, I'm looking at comments. But anyway, I might need to sit down and just like walk away from this problem for a bit and come back to it, because at this point I'm at the point where it should have worked, but it did not. And I'm thinking, okay, what if let's go a little bit smaller here, because let's say the middleware, let's say that this didn't work. Okay. Let's see, how do we feel about that? This should work, right? C.write pipe. Oh, right. This is back to ye old problem of end does not imply finish. I think that's our problem here. Is that end? I think we have to do this. And the reason for that is that you might want to pipe from one thing and then pipe from another thing and so on and so forth. So the default behavior is not to end the stream. I think that's what we're seeing. So nope, not it. Console.log r.1, let's say. All right, let's try end here. Nope. Why is the converter not coming to an end or a close? I need to go look at the write stream docs real quick. I think I'm kind of close to this though. So, new stream, writable. Let's see, do we have underscore write? Underscore write. Implementing a writable stream. Implementing a writable stream. Writable. Oh, is it missing? Oh, I hate Ninja crap code. Why would they put this in the docs? Why? Always use curly braces on an if statement. Always. No one ever regretted using curly braces on an if statement. You know how many people have regretted not doing it? All of them, pretty much. Anyway. Inherits. I don't know if that's accurate. Let me go look at the Stack Overflow again. So this is the one that's accepted that I just edited to clarify the comments and stuff. Okay. Will be emitted when the input stream has ended. No more data will be provided. That's not entirely true. Deprecated place with stream to array. What about no modules or libraries? That's been added. Writable streams named differently because they coexist on transform. That's why they're named differently. Event finish. Writer write on finish end. Writer dot end. I'm a little confused by this because this doesn't seem called every time some data is written to the stream. It seems like this, looks pretty reasonable. Stream, new, writable stream. Converter. Converter.on. finish. Yeah. Let me just try a couple other things here. Converter.end, converter.close. Okay, that's not a thing. Converter.emit finish. Huh? What? The letter L. Okay. C.finish. Why are we not getting C.finish? Okay, let's change that back again. Do we get this time? Okay, cool, we do. Do we need finish? Is that what we need? Is there... No, there's not a finish function. So the documentation says that when you call end, it's gonna... This is the end. So when you call end, finish, right? But why not? What the letter L? Whatever. Okay, well this works. So I'm actually going to call that good enough for now, or Geffen for short. Get rid of these. The inconsistencies boggle the mind. The documentation says that this should work without this. Docs say finish should be called when end is called, but experimentation says otherwise. All right, well. Oh, yeah? Okay. All right, give me just a minute here. Okay, so where is pass? Verify. Where's my verify function? Okay, so if true is not equal to result, we should definitely get an error. So at this point, I did not check the error, and that is why. But this would be, that would automatically be checked by Express when we're really running it. Okay. Signature does not match. Excellent. So why do we have unhandled promise rejection? That was quite handled. Unhandled because it's thrown in here. Right. Got it. Okay, well that's just a matter of we're not using real middleware or whatever. Okay. All right, well, I've got a break. I've got to go. Well, I need to break anyway. Got to go have dinner. Gonna spend some time with the fam. So for those of you that watch, thanks for watching. Remember, if you like what you like, you get more of what you like. And if you want to subscribe, go ahead and click the bell for personalized recommendations so you get the code stuff. I will finish up with this. I will finish up with this tonight because I want to finish up with this tonight. So I'll finish up with this tonight. I really want to have this done, and it's so close. So with all that, I will catch you later. Adios. Then I come down here and I hit the key.